So sometimes you may have a project where an adjustment layer across everything won't do, and you need to color correct one piece of footage that is used multiple times in a video. I'll show you how I'll set this up to show you another technique. And to do that, I'm going to duplicate this sequence. So this is pizza oven sequence 1080. And we know our sequence is in here in the sequences bin. Remember, we were nice and tidy. And right in there, we've got our pizza oven sequence 1080. Now, this looks very similar to our footage in as much as we can mouse over and through, and you can view your footage. It's exactly the same with the sequence. All the way through. Obviously, we're going to black here because we're all the way out here. But as you can see, that's our sequence right there. Now, if you ever close down a sequence and you can't find it, and you can't deep dive, and you've done a load of things which have created more bins, I've been in this position a number of times, and you can't find the sequence, and you know that the work is there, but you can't find it. And no amount of closing this and reopening it is going to open it with the sequence open. The easiest way to find it is if you go down to here. We're currently at thumbnail view. If you go to list view, we can actually see it there, but let's hide it because we can't find it. Let's pretend. And all you simply do is go into the search bar here. This search bar is purely for the project panel, and it's a sequence. So you just start typing sequence, SEQ, and they are all your sequences. So we've got wood pellets. What was that? Ah, that was a nest. Remember when we nested that? So that's effectively a sequence. The pizza text is a sequence. Remember, we were in here before. And that sequence is our main sequence. Close that, close that. So that's the easy way to find a sequence if you can't find it. So here is our sequence, and when we go back into the thumbnail view, you can see that this is this. So let's duplicate this. That's as easy as just right click and click duplicate. So it's made another version. You can't see here because it's too large and you can't see the text, but if we go to list view and drag out the name, you can see it's called it pizza oven sequence 1080 copy 01. So I'm just going to click in here, single click, and then click again, or right click and rename. And I'm going to title this master clip example, just so I can show you. I can mess around with this now and it's not going to affect our other sequence. Quite often, if you've got clients who ask for more and more versions, you don't want to lose what you've done, you don't want to overwrite what you've done, you make another sequence and you call it number 2. So because it's sod's law that you'll get 3 or 4 versions down the road, and your client will be like, oh, actually in version 1 or 2, when the clips did this and this, can we have that and add that to the latest version, which could be like version 86, and you don't have to do that work again. And you'll never get it exactly how you had it first time. So making duplicates of sequences can give you almost like a breadcrumb trail back to the beginning if you'll allow the web design reference, and it will save your sanity, I promise. So now that we've duplicated this sequence, let's double click into master clip example, and just to be clear, that's the one we're working in, not in the pizza oven sequence. In fact, I'm going to close that so I can't affect that at all. What I want to do is let's just get rid of these right now. And I'm quite glad actually that all the color grading has gone off that, because this is going to make it a little bit clearer for me. What I want to do is I want to go into my footage, and I want to find that's duration 5, that's duration 24 seconds. We'll use that because it's the longest clip. I'm just going to delete everything here, and I'm going to drag in this clip. I'm also going to get rid of that audio because we don't need it. To get rid of audio, you can just press L to unlink and then just delete that. We don't need that clip. And I'm going to drag it all the way out so we've got every bit of it. and that is that clip all the way through to there. So now this isn't going to look like, it's going to look like an awful edit, but let's say we want this bit, cut that, and then we want that bit, but we want it a little bit later on, and then let's say we want that bit there, that bit there, and maybe that bit there. You see what I've done there? I've just literally cut it up and split it around, and now I'm going to bring in this clip, and I'm going to close that up. Let's bring in this clip and close that up. Again, ripple deleting in between the spaces by selecting the space. Put that in there and that in there. 6 in, oh, that's quite a good one as well. 6 in there and 7 at the end there. That's quite a lot. Now you'd have noticed that I didn't press L and unlinked and delete it as I went, because I wanted to show you this other little shortcut. If you want to just select one of a pair, so this is a linked video and audio pair, you can just hold down Alt with nothing selected and select that. So that's just the video selected. If I press delete, it's going to delete the video but keep the audio. Same with the audio. If I just Alt and click and then delete, it just deletes that. But we can take that one step further. We can hold down Alt and draw a marquee. That selects all that audio and just delete, and it's gone. Really handy. So why have I done all this absolutely awful edit? Well, it's because I want to show you how to apply a color grade to one particular clip. Let's just say that Pizza Oven 4, it's all color, and we wanted to make this completely black and white. So every time in this sequence that Pizza Oven 4 is used, we need it to be black and white. Right, okay. Well, we could select this clip and we could go to color, and we could just take all the saturation down. So that's black and white. That's not quite right how I want it. I want to maybe boost the contrast and maybe break down the shadows. And yeah, okay, that's how I want it. Okay, so I'll copy that, and then I'll go and find the next clip, which is Pizza Oven 4, and press P and paste the attributes. And you could do that. And to be honest with you, it wouldn't really take you that long if there's only, what, 4 or 5 instances of it in the sequence. Let's look back in the Lumetri panel, and right up here, and maybe actually saying master clip example is probably not the best titling, because that may confuse. So I'm actually going to rename this sequence. And I've done that just so I can show you how to rename sequences. And if you believe that, you believe anything. But master clip example, I'm going to say this is multi-clip example. So I'm just going to rename that just to make it a little bit clearer. So we're still in this sequence, but it's the sequence formerly known as master clip example and now known as multi-clip. So let's go back to color. And here we have right here, multi-clip example. That's the clip within this sequence, and that's what we're working on. However, if we look to the left in Lumetri, we have another title, and it says source Pizza Oven 4. So that's source, not the clip within the actual sequence. So if we click this, we've got all the different options here of all Pizza Oven 4 being used, and we can affect each and every one of those if we want to from this point. However, let me just click back into multi-clip example, and let's turn that exposure all the way up just so you can see that something's been changed. If I click into source, nothing's been changed. Why is that important? Well, because what's done in here is not reflected in here, because this is affecting the actual source, not the clip within the actual sequence. So why is that important? Well, if we bring that exposure back here, not be working in the clip, but be working in the source, we're now working in the whole of the clip of Pizza Oven 4. And now, because we're effectively at the source, we call this the master. And this is the color master of that piece of footage, not just the clip. Let me show you. Keep an eye down here and keep an eye on what you can see. So this is Pizza Oven 4. I'm pretty sure that's Pizza Oven 4. This is definitely Pizza Oven 4 because you can see it. Let's bring down the saturation. Let's just make a change to the source Lumetri color. What's changed down here? Let me Control Z and redo with Control Shift Z. What you may have seen is that we now have a red line under the effects part of this clip. Not only that, but every single instance where there's Pizza Oven 4, we have a red line. So let's bring down that saturation again. That's down on there. And don't be mistaken, although this is on this, you can see Pizza Oven 4 here, but that looks like there's colour in it. And this looks like there's colour in it, but that's just because the rendering hasn't caught up. Well, let's play it through. So there's Pizza Oven 4, black and white. Pizza Oven 1, cool, colour, we didn't do anything, we haven't changed that. Pizza Oven 4 coming up, black and white. Haven't changed that clip individually. Pizza Oven 2, cool, we've got colour, that's what we expected. Pizza Oven 4, black and white. So what we've effectively done is we've added a Lumetri color effect to every single instance because we've affected the source, not the clip. Look, this is now selected and we're looking at the clip and there's no change. But if we go back to the source, saturation is down. Now we could still make more changes, maybe add more contrast. You see how it changes it over here first? Let me just show you that again. It's changing in the source monitor, not in the clip, because it's only when we let go and commit it does it affect this. Let's bring down the shadows. Again, it's showing in the source monitor first, then when we let go, it's affecting this clip. And that's all being done in the master. So now if I go back to Pizza Oven 1, you can see, again, nothing on the clip, but if I look at the source, that's what it's reading from. And that is such a powerful tool if you've got so many clips and so many bits of footage, and there's one shot, say it's a shot of say it's a wedding, and it's a shot that you've done continuously all the way through the ceremony, and it's slightly oversaturated, or ever so slightly overexposed, and you need to bring down the exposure, and you've only really noticed when you've got all the other footage in around it and you need to change it. Well, the master track, the master edit on the source part of Lumetri Color can help you do that without having to go and find every single instance of that footage throughout your edit. And I promise you, if you had to do that, the chances of you missing one of those clips is quite high, especially if you've got loads of instances of it. So using the master track can save you a massive headache, and actually, depending on the edit that you're working on, can save you hours and hours of going back and forth and changing everything when the master can do it in just a series of clicks.